Music has long been the language of the heart, the true expression of the people. We pass it down year after year, note by note, generation to generation. And then a remarkable phenomenon occurs. These simple homemade hand-me-downs emerge from relative obscurity and step into the bright light of fame we know as folk songs. Join us on a nostalgic trip across the country, east to west and north to south, and sing along with the music of America.
I've come from Alabama with a banjo on my knee, and I'm going to Louisiana, my true love for to see.
It rained all night the day I left, the weather it was dry.
The sun's so hot I froze to death, Susanna, don't you cry. Oh, Susanna, oh, don't you cry for me, for I come from Alabama with a banjo on my knee. Oh, give me a home where the buffalo roam, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. Where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. Oh, I wish I was in the land of cotton, old times there and gone, forgotten. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. In Dixieland where I was born in early on the frosty day. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. Then I wish I was a Dixie, hooray, hooray. In Dixieland I make my stand to live and die in Dixie. Away, away, away down south of Dixie. Away, away, away down south in Dixie. Oh, Shenandoah, I love your daughter. Away, rolling river. Oh, Shenandoah, I long to you. Away, we're bound away, across the wide Missouri. I've been working on the railroad all the livelong day. I've been working on the railroad just to pass the time away. Can't you hear the whistle blowing? Rise up so early in the morn.
Can't you hear the captain shouting, Dinah, blow your horn?
Dinah, won't you blow? Dinah, won't you blow? Dinah, won't you blow your horn? Dinah, won't you blow? Dinah, won't you blow? Dinah, won't you blow your horn?
From north to
America, my home, is the
Rising majestically from New York Harbor, is the colossal copper statue of a lady. In her right hand, she holds aloft a flaming torch, a lamp shining with such brilliance, it's a beacon of hope to the farthest corners of the earth. The lady's name is Liberty. Casting a sense of sudden greatness on all who behold her, this tall and beautiful sculpture stands draped in the noble dreams of free hearts everywhere. Her enormous expression is not one of force, but of freedom. Not one of power, but of love. For somehow when we gaze into her eyes, she makes us feel the magnificence of being human. For over 100 years, this stirring symbol has graced the gateway to our home, endearing herself warmly in our hearts, ever reminding us of the very essence of our country, to which we owe our allegiance. Shine far, dear lady. Shine free forever.
Not like the brazen giant of Greek fame, with conquering limbs astride from land to land. Here at our sea-washed sunset gate shall stand a mighty woman with a torch, whose fame is the imprisoned lightness, and her name, Mother of Exiles. From her beacon hand glows worldwide welcome. Her mild eyes command the air-bridged harbor that twin cities framed. Keep ancient lands your storied pomp, cries she, with silent lips. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. The wretched refuse of your teeming shore, send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door.
We cannot rightfully celebrate the joy of our freedom without remembering the great price paid for that freedom. When we consider the untold numbers of men and women who chose to set aside their personal ambitions and dreams to assure the well-being of our nation, we stagger at the eternal debt we owe. We are indeed the beneficiaries of those who have made and will continue to make tremendous sacrifices for the advancement and surety of our liberty.
There I sat on buttermilk hill. Who could blame me, cry my fill, and every tear would turn a mill. Johnny has gone for a soldier.
But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, and we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men living and dead who struggled here have consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living, rather to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave their last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that the government of the people, by the people, and for the people shall not perish from this earth. Over 200 years have passed since the birth of our nation, and we find the world very different now. And yet, as John Kennedy so clearly reminded us, those same revolutionary beliefs for which our forebears fought are still at issue around the globe. The belief that the rights of man come not from the generosity of the state, but from the hand of God. We dare not forget that we are heirs of that first revolution. Let the word go forth from this time and place to friend and foe that the torch has been passed to a new generation of Americans. Born in this country, tempered by war, disciplined by a hard and bitter peace, proud of our ancient heritage, and unwilling to witness or permit the slow undoing of those human rights to which this nation has always been committed. Let every nation know, whether it wishes us well or ill, that we shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe, to assure the survival and success of liberty. This much we pledge, and more. Lord, today as we reflect on the blessings of our liberty, we pause to ask your help, that we may be faithful stewards of the freedom we've been granted. We remember your sobering words from Scripture, that to whom much is given, much shall be required. We echo the prayer of President Reagan's inaugural address, that you would continue to hold us close as we fill the world with our song, the song of unity, affection, and love. May we remain one people under God, dedicated to the dream of freedom that you have placed in the human heart. Amen. Let us go forth to lead the land we love, asking God's blessing and his help, but knowing that God's work must truly be our own. May God bless you, and may God bless America.